ABC in Concert takes a look at the 25-year legacy of the band that took its name from my hometown and theirs, Chicago. It's a long way from the West Side to the greatest concert stages in the world, but Chicago has made the trip. And along the way, they've made a lot of great music. So join me tonight for 25 years of Chicago.
Tonight, In Concert makes music history with part one of 25 years of Chicago.
We can make it happen. We can make it happen. We can make it happen. Oh, yeah. We can change the world now. We can change the world now. We can change the world now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can save the children.
And the In Concert new artist, very special host, Joe Mantegna.
Good evening, I'm Joe Mantegna. Tonight, the first of a two-part In Concert special look at the 25 years of Chicago. Why two parts? Why so special? Simple. What American rock band has had the most top 40 hits in history? Chicago. What American rock band played to the largest July 4th audience in history? Chicago. What American band has sold over 110 million albums? Well, it wasn't the Gary, Indiana band. No, tonight, be proud. American rock and roll is alive and well, and we got the best around. Chicago.
Good show.
Good show.
Good show.
Good show.
All here, right here. What the?
All here. Hey.
All right. Well,
Go Bulls.
make a wish. Let's make a wish. Who would have thought this, huh? 110 million records later, 42 top 40 hits, 21 albums, 1 billion people we've played before.
And we're fooling them still.
Well, I got to tell you, it reminds me, we're the McDonald's of rock. 1 billion people served. So you know what? Like Chris, our drummer, says, all you young puppies of rock and roll, move over and let the big dog eat. Let's have a good show.
Good one. Gotta give credit where credit is due.
I love it.
Let's have some fun.
You know that.
That's right.
All right.
Let's scare people.
Have a good one. Let's do it.
All right.
All right.
Walking down the street one day, a man came up to me and asked me what the time was that was on my watch, yeah. And I said, does anybody really know what time it is? Yeah. Imagine why we all got time enough to die. Oh, everybody's worrying. I don't care about time.
When In Concert continues, we go back to the beginnings of Chicago. Long backgrounds playing in just about every nightclub and VFW hall in the upper Midwest. But the nucleus of the band was formed by a group of students at DePaul University, led by my pal, Walt Parazaider, who grew up wanting to be the next Benny Goodman. You know, Benny was from Chicago too, but I bet he never had a Red Hot from Demon Dogs.
We're just good Chicago boys from the streets that want to do the best possible job we can.
According to my folks, I was doing this before I could walk.
When people come to see us in concert, a lot of them don't realize that we can play up-tempo tunes until they actually see us perform. They go, hey, these guys are pretty good.
The thrill of having created some music and having performed it and sung it and interacted with other people and being right there in the moment and saying, you know, this is it.
We sat around my apartment table February 15th, 1967, and everybody was sitting around, and I said, hey, look it. I says, what we're going to do here is going to be history. What I'd really like to see us be is the American Beatles, a rock and roll band with horns.
I don't even think we realized what we were committing to, but it's, you know, everybody sort of got caught up in the spirit of, you know, this is something different for all of us, and it may even be something different for people who eventually hear this music.
Robert Lamm came and had coffee from the Little Red Schoolhouse where Dustin Hoffman used to hang out at Roosevelt University over to DePaul with a songbook of 40 original songs under his arm. We had a cup of coffee together. I said, Robert, I said, right, we got an idea for a band. I said, would you be interested? And he says, well, and here's the Libra and the bi-coastal guy that he really is man of the world. He said, well, let me hear a little more about this.
When Walt approached me with this idea, I was thrilled because it was a chance to play music that I like to listen to with the horn. This was like the skeleton of the band that was to become CTA Chicago. We wore the suits and did the steps, and we were called the Big Thing.
I'm embarrassed, Mr. Pankow, right now. He is definitely the main proponent of romantic acid rock trombone.
Those days were the fun days because we were allowed to be as creative as we wanted to be, and it was marketable.
It was the liberation from the 1-4-5 chord lock that you know, basically blues changes that rock and roll had been locked into.
The horns that come in out of nowhere and the tenor voice on the top of it, and, you know, harmony parts and all that stuff. And it's been very successful for us.
You have your vocalist singing the song, and the horn section is almost another vocal part without lyrics. Rather than a typical horn section, which is kicks and punches that embellish or create a background for something, our horn section has traditionally been an integral part of the melodic structure of a song.
thinking of what I want to feel forever. Only the beginning, only just the start. Got to get you into my life. Only the beginning, only just the start.
When we return, we'll look at Chicago in the 70s. It was a time when they reached the top and almost hit the bottom, and then scored one of the biggest comebacks in music history.
Make Me Smile was Chicago's first hit single. I was driving in my car down Santa Monica Boulevard through Beverly Hills. Turned on KHJ, which was the big station in LA at the time. The DJ goes, well, yeah, we have this new a song by a new band, you know, it's called Chicago Transit Authority. And I went, whoa, cool. Didn't know what song I was about to hear. All of a sudden, hey man, I wrote that. I opened the window. Hey, I'm on the radio. You know, it was like, it was the ultimate rush in my life.
Man, we had a hit. The whole wheel was working then. We could do no wrong around that time. It was magical.
Does anybody really know what time it is? Does anybody
When I was still living in New York, I had an experience walking down the street, walking by the front of a movie theater, you know, asking the usher who was taking a cigarette break if he had the time. And he said to me, does anybody really know what time it is? And that stayed with me.
Does anybody really know what time it is? Question 67, 68, someday with the prologue, you know, to the riots, 68, McGovern and all of that stuff. Ended with Liberation, started with Introduction, and the rest was history. What a great time.
The 70s were a time of self-discovery. You know, we had all this stuff going like Vietnam and the 18-year-old vote issue.
Those were changing times, you know, the late 60s. And imparted to us that there was a certain responsibility that we might want to consider assuming.
Robert, of course, was the conscience of Chicago, we called him. He wrote very personal songs about things that affected him as a human being and as an American as well as a musician. And all of our songs essentially were reality songs.
The things that have really put us on the map, we still play every night on the road. You know, Saturday in the Park, 25 or 6 to 4, Make Me Smile, Color My World. You know, those songs they still hold up for whatever reason.
It's one of the top 3 phone requested songs of all time. Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven, Color My World, and Flip Flop, the Beatles, Stones, take your pick.
I've been listening to Brandenburg concertos for the last couple days. I've been grooving on Bach, and it inspired this arpeggiated piece. You know, do 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 do, just simple arpeggios. And I needed a melody, and I heard this. I didn't hear guitar. I didn't hear rock and roll. I heard something more classical.
As time goes on, I realize just what you mean.
woke Walt up out of a sound sleep, and I said, get your flute, get your flute. Come on in, I got this thing, man, you gotta try this. And he played, I had this, sketched out this little melody, and he played it on the flute, and there it stood. I said, okay. He woke me up. And I come down with my flute, and he says, I got this da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I said, well, what if we did this here, that here? And it was really his show, man. Then he looked up at me, and two kids, and he says, what do you think of this? And I says, it's going to make me famous. Approached our management and wanted to record Color My World only if I wrote another verse for him. But I couldn't desecrate that song. I just couldn't do it, even for Old Blue Eyes. Wherever you are, Frank, I'm sorry. It would have been an honor. When this band emerged, there was kind of a thing about psychedelic titles. Strawberry Alarm Clock and Electric Prunes, even artists' names were wild. And Jimmy Guercio had a vision, and he envisioned this band having a career of some length. He was managing, dressing it, and everything, and thank God he did. He felt that it had never, because it had never been done before, and because Chicago had a classical aura about them with the horn section and their approach to instrumental music, that this would be a good experiment in terms of borrowing from the classics in so much as numbering our albums rather than titling them, and using the logo to speak for itself, as itself, without any other trim on every package subsequent to the first album. Of course, if you look back, had this band recorded 2 albums, the idea would have been not only pompous, but ridiculous. Subsequently, we look back and lo and behold, we have 21 albums, and now the concept works beautifully.
One guy I wish I'd have met, and I never did, was Terry Kath. Terry Kath did something, there was an urgency in what he did to the early Chicago stuff that bypassed everything. You know, really a free thinker.
I just remember fondly the first time that I ran into him with 2 grease balls, and he looked at me, and we instantly agreed to not like each other. Too hard-headed. He's a Norwegian German, and I'm a bohunk, crow-hunk, right? And stuff. And later on he told me, he says, you know, I didn't want to like you. You come in with that cabretta leather coat, and you look like some kind of hoodlum.
When Terry died, our initial thought was to stop doing it.
It was one of those unfortunate things, and guns are a real dangerous thing if they're not in the right hands. And Terry was a gun buff. He's with one of our roadies and stuff, and he's cleaning the guns. And he just unfortunately says, hey, that's no problem, it's not loaded. Boom, he forgot that there was one in the chamber. Changed our life forever. All of a sudden, we weren't immortal anymore.
We had to make a decision whether we wanted to keep doing this or not.
Didn't really feel like I wanted to live anymore.
We figured out a way to keep going.
Everything that we're here for the money, we couldn't be right, you know.
8 rock group of the 1970s. 21 top 40 hits, 5 straight #1 albums, sold-out tours, Grammy Awards. But after a decade of success, they were shocked by the death of their lead guitarist, Terry Kath. Management and record company changes meant they faced new challenges in the 80s. And then they came back stronger than ever. In fact, according to chart statistics, Chicago is one of the most successful American rock groups of the past 35 years.
Take away the biggest part of me. Ooh, now, baby, please.
Our first #1 hit in the world. I'm doing my pool in the San Fernando Valley. I'm just sort of, oh, here's a leaf here and there, and I go, hey, racking it back with the ball of wax, KHJ, and here comes a breaker for you on KHJ. Dun, 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 dun. And it's a true story. My hand to God. I'm going, Jacqueline, this is, McCartney's got a song out. I'm going, this sounds familiar. She goes, you stupid fool. You were down at the session or whatever. It's If You Leave Me Now. I said, you think this is going to be a hit?
When If You Leave Me Now came out, that song was so popular for such a long period that we came with more ballads. I mean, you want to follow up on that type of success.
Another gold single that Jimmy Pankow wrote, Just You and Me. And I said to Jimmy, I says, is this any good? Just forget about it.
I do remember we had an enormous fight, and I sat at the piano, and this song started just pouring out of me. Boom, 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 boom. You are my love and my life. The lyrics happened. The idea happened. I just sat there and I started singing this song and playing it. And I ran in and I grabbed my girlfriend. I said, you got to come out here and listen to this. We got to fight more often. This is incredible. We can do it live. And it's fun for the audience because they get to, if they come to a show, they can see the side of the band that they don't hear on radio or on CD.
Everything was in balance, and except maybe our mental capacities. We were on the road all the time, just playing and then moving here and doing this television, and going to Europe and coming back and doing another album and writing these songs. And, you know, I mean, a whirlwind.
They come to our Chicago concert and they walk out with a smile. We've done our job.
Believe in you, and I know you believe in me. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Now we realize we're not all that it's supposed to be. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Knowing that you.
Peter Cetera is one of the finest singers in the world. Mr. McCartney, you are too, and stuff. But I'd say if I ranked singers in the top 5, Peter would be right up there.
I know we really tried.
It was about a relationship as well, but that the relationship among the people of the band can also kind of be correlated with the song at the same time.
About that time I said, you know, or Terry would have said it this way, we on a record and it's going to sell 1 million. Wrong, old great saxophone breath.
I think to a certain degree the band has been swayed by the comfort of our personal lives, our comfort in our personal lives, and just what's easy to do.
We'd come up with an up-tempo song that we thought was going to be a hit, or, you know, at least in our minds, it's got a chance to do it. And people wouldn't play that because they said it didn't sound like Chicago. The first time I heard that, I went, you're kidding, though, aren't you? What do you mean it doesn't sound like Chicago? And then I realized that they had decided what we sound like. And that's the way it was going to be.
Unfortunately, along the way, Peter decided that he wasn't happy, and we wished him well. And you know, he wanted to try the solo thing, and Lord knows I can understand it now. I was real mad about that. We all were, you know. It was, you know, here was another link to the band, and this was a band that, you know, death do us part type thing.
We're determined to break new ground.
Geez, this young buck come along named Jason Scheff. Man, he's got a marvelous voice.
Stay the night, there's room enough for two. Stay the night, I'd like to stay with you. Stay the night, why don't you know?
My dad would be proud of me. Oh, yeah.
Stay the night, there's room enough for two. Stay the night, I'd like to stay with you. Stay the night, why don't we call it a day? No one can
Get some rest. You're gonna need it.
If you're wondering what all these cameras are here for, we're shooting a live segment for an upcoming ABC special. And this special will document the last quarter of a century of the history of Chicago. Have patience. There's cameras everywhere. Have patience with these guys because they want to shoot your beautiful faces, and we want you to be a part of history. So anyway, do you want to rock and roll? Baby, you're not alone!
Now the AT&T in-concert calendar.
From tonight until the end of time, you should know, yes, you know, everywhere I go, always on my mind, in my heart, in my soul. You're me, in my life, you're the inspiration, the true feeling to my life.
In the 80s, key personnel changes kept Chicago's music fresh. Music veteran Bill Champlin joined the group in 1982 for Chicago 16. In 1985, the group found bassist vocalist Jason Scheff. And now the current Chicago is the strongest musical unit the band has ever had.
Without you, there's a lot of getting. It was you, she loved to live with it. And I don't want to be without you. It's all a big mistake. Instead of getting it easier, it's the hardest thing to take. I'm addicted to you, baby. You're so hard.
They needed to start their album, and they really hadn't decided on anybody, you know, and actually couldn't find somebody who played bass and sang that they wanted to have in the band, right? So they were getting to the point where they were going to just hire a singer and hire a bass player also, and so from my demo tape they thought that I was a keyboard player because I had played keyboards on some of the stuff, and I write that way, so I think he's a keyboard player. And I remember talking to the manager the first day, and he was saying, well, what do you play? And I said, I play bass. And he said, oh my God, it's a match made in heaven.
We brought him in, he played bass and he sang, and it was like, what are these guys bringing a clone of Peter in? You know, that's what they thought. And in reality, what we needed is, to get real vocal harmonies, you need a high, a mid, and a low. That's how you get it. And if you want the high voice, you got to get somebody who can sing the high notes, and it's called a tenor voice. So we need to hire a tenor.
They could see that I was actually a fan of the music too, and that I really wanted to be there, and so it was a cool thing to have happen.
Without offending anybody, Mick, whatever, and stuff, whom I truly love, the Stones, you know, Jason has got a shot at being that when he grows up. You know, and I mean that with all my heart. And he knows it, and he sure works very hard at it.
Waiting for the break of day, searching for something to say, watching lights against the sky. I hold my eyes, sitting cross-eyed on the line. 25 or 6 to 90 into space.
And all of a sudden, it's showtime, and the lights go down, and the crowd goes crazy. That's when I start realizing, oh, that's right, this is what it's like, and we're back and everything. The first night it happened, man, I mean, everybody was trying to make me feel comfortable, and you're gonna do great, this is gonna be fine, man, this is gonna be great, and our manager was there, and he's like, okay, here we go. It made me feel good to know that they weren't booing, you know, that, okay, Peter's left the band, Jason's in it now, and we don't dig it, so we're gonna pay $17.50 or $25 to have a bad time and boo, right? No, they were there to have a good time. They were screaming, and I thought, man, this is great. And all of a sudden, these banners go up that people said, "Welcome, Jason," and "We love you, Chicago." The band accepted me right off the bat. They once they made the decision, that was it.
Who's having dogs?
Some of that magic started coming back again. It felt like we had the band back together. Different than with Terry, but still, the whole wheel was back and running and operating. It felt like a unit.
Something's working.
Everything on it?
Unbelievable.
Great, really great. I can't eat any more.
I think it's time that Jason has his inaugural demon dog here in Chicago.
What do you think, buddy? First, a real
good
Chicago
idea,
hot
Robert.
dog.
There you go.
I'm ready. Is it? Oh, man.
That's it, man.
Here it is.
A real Chicago hot dog.
Pepper.
A lot of
Come
history
here,
here.
Pepper.
Here's some new history, too.
Set it up right now.
Wow. Let me
Yeah,
get it in
Those
position.
things, too.
Not too many
You have to
rules.
line up those peppers just so.
Just so.
Now you gotta eat the whole thing in 2 bites.
Cheers.
Okay.
Wow. Cheers,
Here we
guys.
go, guys.
Nice to be aboard.
Clink.
I'm glad you're aboard, Jason. Well, does he like it?
More from Chicago when In Concert continues.
You know what I like about a Chicago concert? Audience participation. And when you sit there or stand there singing your head off to tunes like Color My World, Make Me Smile, or Stay the Night, and then you look around, 25,000 fans are doing the same thing. Chicago Live makes for a great night. And I'll tell you, sometimes you work as hard in the audience as they do on stage.
Damn close. Real close.
Or that might be a half a cent off.
Damn close.
About 10 minutes.
We're all kind of part of the patchwork quilt that has been the modern history of this country. And the young people in the country who are the next generation that will inherit whatever is going on in this country listen very closely to what we say.
We truly were meant to be. And it's star-crossed, and I could give you all kinds of reasons or whatever for it. But I don't know. We're just going to walk it like we talk it.
It was a great show, but if you missed it, we'll be back next week.
Second of a two-part in-concert special look at the 25 years of Chicago.
Tonight on In Concert, Part 2 of the 25th anniversary celebration of Chicago.
Waiting for the break of day, searching for something to say, flashing lights against the sky. Giving up, I close my eyes.
Plus the in-concert new artist program.
From Saturday in the Park and Just You and Me to If You Leave Me Now and Hard to Say I'm Sorry, Chicago has made some of the best loved music of the last 25 years.
Everybody needs a little time away, hard to say, from each other. Even lovers need a holiday, far away from each other. Oh, now it's hard for me to say I'm sorry. I just want you to stay. After all that we've been through, I will make it up to you. I promise to. And after all that's been said and done, you're just a part of me I can't let go. Couldn't stand to be kept away just for the day from your body. Wouldn't wanna be swept away, far away from the one that I love. Hold me now.
to say I'm sorry. I just want you to know. Hold me now, I really want to say I'm sorry. I could never let you go. After all that we've been through, I will make it up to you. I promise to. And after all that's been said and done, you're justified with me. I can't let go. After all that we've been through, I will make it up to you. I promise to. I'm gonna be the lucky one.
More from Chicago when In Concert continues.
The band Chicago. It was in 1966, and there was this group called the Missing Links, and I was in a band called the Apocryphals, and we were both booked at the Kentucky State Fair that summer. And I remember that we were watching these guys playing in this group, the Missing Links, saying, look at these guys are real musicians, because I think we were basically, I knew about 4 notes on a bass guitar, but we were looking at these guys playing, and it was Walt Parazaider and Terry Kath and Danny Serafini at that time in that group. And I remember a few months later we were playing at the Cheetah in Chicago, and Walter and a few of the guys came to see us play, and they came backstage and they says, you know, we're thinking of changing the group. We're going to add some more horns. We're going to make the group a little bigger. We're going to have like 7 of us, and we're going to change the name and go out on the road and try this new kind of sound. And we thought, gee, that's great, fellas, congratulations. And of course, once they left the room, we all said to ourselves, what are they, crazy? 7 guys? We can barely pay 4 guys. Nobody was having any more than 4. We're thinking of ways to get rid of a guy, so maybe we could have 3 guys in the band. Well, needless to say, about a year later, after I had given up the rock and roll business and started to pursue acting, someone came running up to me and said, hey, isn't this your friend in this group? And that's when they stuck a CTA album in front of me. And it was the beginning of 25 years of Chicago rock and roll.
Walter S. Parazaider Sr.
He truly is the musician in the family. That's where the gift comes from.
I can tell you right off the bat, I don't know any stories. I have forgotten everything that I should have remembered.
A jazz lab at the high school I enrolled in, Notre Dame High School in Niles, Illinois. And actually, the musical director at Notre Dame was Father George Wiskirk, and he was probably one of my biggest influences other than my father.
Where we started was, you know, basically, you know, mimicking, Memphis, you know, Stax Bolt era of rhythm and blues.
We came from different areas of the city, so that when we got together as a band, we had all these influences in our head already.
Hey, Jason, talk to me. Let it fall.
I used to play Just You and Me and Feeling Stronger every day all the time on my little record player, and I was hooked.
Always interesting. You never know what's going to be around the corner with Chicago. It looks like it's over, and then boom, something happens.
Another day in the park, it looked just like the 4th of July. Another day in the park, it looked just like the 4th of July. People laughing, people smiling, a man playing guitar and singing for a song. Such a long time for today. Slow motion riders fly the colors of the day. A bronze man still can tell stories his own way. Listen, children, all is not lost, all is not lost. You'd be here forever. Another illusion I chose to create. You don't know what you got until it's gone, and I found out a little too late. I was acting as if you were lucky to have me doing your favor. Takes a lot of getting used to learn to live with it. But I don't want to be without you. It's all a big mistake. Instead of getting easier, it's the hardest thing to say. I'm addicted to you, baby. You're a hard habit to break. Doing much better. Somebody tell me, what we've been on. light of candy. It was true, she learned to live with it. But I don't want to be without you. It's all a big mistake. Instead of getting easier, it's the hardest thing to take. I'm addicted to you, baby. You're a heart.
Taste that takes you there.
Hey, and don't forget, on Saturday, July 4th, it's John Mellencamp and a free concert.
Now, ain't that America?
It ain't. I mean, it is.
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
We're driving out.
Chicago. The name says it all. Or so the band has said on every album it has ever released. No titles, no concepts, no complicated themes. Simply a logo and an album number. For 25 years, the name just speaks for itself.
Moments together
Walter Parazaider, Robert Lamm, Lee Loughnane, Jimmy Pankow, Bill Champlin, Jason Scheff, Tristan Bowden, and Delwayne Bailey. You've earned a place in American rock history. I salute you as a fan and, more importantly, as a friend. I'm Joe Mantegna. Good night.
Now, Jim. Now. Waiting for the break of day, searching for something to say, flashing lights against the sky. Moving up, I close my eyes, sitting across the comes the blood. Six to one. living room is sinking deep. Wanting just to stay away. Wondering how much I can pay.